In June 2025, at Almaty airport in Kazakhstan, a man films being arrested by the police. Taken aback, he discovers he's been identified by facial recognition. On the policeman's screen, we read face and 94.3%. However, he is not a terrorist or a fugitive. This man is merely a political opponent. Investigating, we found other clips of activists arrested using this system. In this Central Asian country, the regime imprisons reporters and opponents and is against demonstrations, and is now focusing on widespread surveillance, like something from dystopian fiction. Facial recognition is used across the country, with the help of Western companies. For weeks, we have analysed dozens of videos, hundreds of screens, official documents and technical manuals. And we discovered the discreet presence of foreign companies, like tech giant IBM and subsidiaries of Canon and Motorola Solutions. We uncovered the authoritarian regime's involvement in this surveillance system. In January 2022, demonstrations broke out in Kazakhstan following a rise in fuel prices. The authorities responded with force and opened fire. The outcome was devastating: 238 people killed. Since then, it has become almost impossible to demonstrate, even alone. In January 2025, in the city of Almaty, activist Aktorgin Akenjebalasi protested, placard in hand. Satire is not a crime. She denounced the arrest of a known satirist blogger. But she was immediately arrested. Her loved ones filmed, expressing their outrage.
Почему у нас полицейское государство? Вы человеку не даете высказать мнение.
In theory, demonstrations are permitted, provided a request is made. Yet they are almost always rejected, as shown by activists who post these rejection letters on Telegram.
I hereby inform you that you are not authorized to organize a peaceful parade.
And defying these prohibitions can be costly. In November 2023, human rights advocate Marat Zilanbayev was sentenced to 7 years in prison. He had organized a rally demanding the release of political prisoners. Open Dialogue Foundation, a human rights organization based in Brussels, believes there are at least 48 political prisoners in Kazakhstan. Our investigation shows that this repression is taking on a new dimension, thanks to technologies long confined to science fiction films. In May 2025, a military parade was taking place. A woman was filming from her window, when suddenly, a drone appeared and called her to order. In the post's comments section, users were outraged. I have only seen that in dystopian films.
It's like the book 1984.
An image that calls to mind footage from China during the COVID-19 pandemic. The Chinese surveillance system is indeed a model for Kazakhstan. In 2019, President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev visited Chinese surveillance company Hikvision. He was delighted.
Они оцифровали все основные города, причем оцифровали очень глубоко. Насколько глубоко, всем понятно. То есть нажимаешь на экран и входит цифра, вернее данные на того или иного человека, включая буквально все. Когда он закончил институт...
A model he is implementing by developing ultra-connected smart cities with state-of-the-art police control centers. Cities now rely on video surveillance and a controversial tool: facial recognition. This is what we found in the city of ARTE. In December 2024, the Kazakh president visited the new control center of the city's police. The presidential press release said the center can monitor all 15,000 cameras in the city and features technology able to recognize faces. Other cities are using facial recognition, like Almaty with 2 million inhabitants and Astana, the capital city, as seen on this video from the Home Office.
Система интегрирована с искусственным интеллектом, что позволяет распознавать лица. При помощи системы видеоаналитики в Астане оперативно распознано и задержано 46 разыскиваемых правонарушителей.
But in a country against all forms of opposition, video surveillance and facial recognition are not just for criminals. In our investigation, we found disturbing videos on social media. This video was taken on the 4th of August 2024 in Astana at the airport. We see Aybek Sabitov, a Kazakh activist, being questioned by police. His wife recorded it. They inform him he has been identified by video surveillance.
Понятно, ну при чем тут я что-то написал, задержать меня надо, ничего. Опознали бы, я и сам говорю, да это я. Я же не говорю, что это не я.
On the officer's screen, we can see his identity photo and the images captured by the airport cameras. His name, Sabitov, recognition of individual, category, activist. He protests. The police let him go. But he is not the only activist to have been detained in this way. Other videos show similar footage, such as this one, found on TikTok with the caption, "Digital Concentration Camp." Filmed by another regime opponent, Abaybek Sultanov. At Almaty station, an officer takes him to the police station. At the police station, at his request, the two officers show him the notice received.
Вот такую, короче, тут.
На видео мен кіргеніңіз жаңа камера таргетпен. Сол бойынша сізді сұрап түсіндіңіз.
Once again, Sultanov was identified by using facial recognition. We can, in fact, make it out on this screen. Facial recognition, Abaybek Sultanov Askarovich. In front of the police, he expresses his anger at the methods used by authorities.
Tokaev'tin Жаңа Қазақстан'ı
He too was released. Despite the pressures on activists, he agreed to talk about these surveillance technologies.
Камеры с распознаванием лиц, вот эта цифровизация, это все увеличивает страхи, подавляет свободу слова. В Казахстане, я считаю, так. Дальше это будет помогать диктатуре преследовать инакомыслие, преследовать оппозиционные силы, журналистов, активистов.
Who is behind this surveillance system based on facial recognition? Unsurprisingly, these promotion videos show that in many cities, Chinese cameras are being installed from Hikvision or Dahua. But if we analyze the images from the surveillance center, we discover systems provided by Western companies, such as IBM, found in the city of Akkol. Akkol is Kazakhstan's first smart city. It was inaugurated in 2019. On Facebook, Kazakh companies involved in the project published photos taken in a surveillance center. We analyzed these images. On the screen, we see images of the city and we make out a logo. It belongs to the American giant IBM. This is the smart city management system and its cameras. Digging deeper, we find this interview with a Kazakh telecom manager involved in setting up the system. He claims IBM also provided video analysis software.
Analysis and machine learning are performed using IBM Intelligent Video Analytics and powerful AI vision.
Tools that enable the analysis of human behavior in real time. Or facial recognition, he points out. We contacted IBM. In Kazakhstan, the right to freedom of expression and to demonstrate are systematically repressed. There are accounts of activists being stopped by police at airports and stations because they were recognized by a facial recognition system. How can you be sure the products supplied to Akkol are not being used for mass surveillance? They admit to supplying their software.
We sold the software to the client in 2018. Our commitment ended in 2019, and we no longer provide this software. This facial recognition solution has not been sold or supported by IBM since 2020.
Nonetheless, back in 2018, Kazakhstan was already considered a repressive country flouting human rights. Moreover, in a Kazakh television program from January 2025, we see that IBM's software is still in use. The system has been operating for 7 years without any updates. When asked about it, IBM did not respond. While investigating, we found another company, this time a European company, Milestone, also present in Akkol. In the same 2025 program, we see the name of this software on screen. X-Protect. It is a product from Danish company Milestone. It enables the city's surveillance cameras to be centralized on a single platform. It is used alongside IBM's image analysis software. The Danish company is also present in Aktobe, the city the Kazakh president visited at the end of 2024, where facial recognition is used. We zoom in on this image from the presidency and find the X-Protect logo. Milestone also offers Israeli technology. BriefCam, a software that enables facial recognition. We found it in 3 cities across the country. In Taldi Korgan, we see the software appear on screen in this police presentation video. We can distinguish its features: number plate recognition or facial recognition. We find this interface in the city of Taraz and in Jibek Joli. In this village, video surveillance was installed by this man, called CCTV Commander on Instagram. In this post, he explains that the system integrates well with BriefCam. We called him.
Мы журналисты Арте, мы бы хотели узнать, может ли BriefCam опознавать людей.
Ну, у BriefCam есть такая возможность.
А скажите, BriefCam может тогда узнать лица, которые находятся там в каких-то определенных списках людей, которые находятся в розыске?
Если вы этот список несете туда, то он может найти, да.
А вы не боитесь, что эти камеры могут заниматься там слежкой за людьми и так далее?
Я не могу комментировать это.
We sent our findings to Milestone and BriefCam's parent company, the Japanese giant Canon. How do they justify using their software in the surveillance system set up by the Kazakh regime? Canon answered.
It has not been determined that Milestone and BriefCam products are being used for the surveillance of dissidents. However, their end-user license agreements include a clause committing to the UN's Human Rights Declaration and state that they can and will terminate contracts if there are any breaches of terms and conditions.
Yet in their response, Canon does not specify how it ensures the clauses are respected. We continue investigating and discover Kazakhstan is a real testing ground for video surveillance companies. And for one of them in particular, omnipresent in the country, the American company Motorola Solutions, achieved through subsidiaries like Pelco. The firm specializing in video surveillance sells this software, Video Expert. It allows real-time management of all the cameras in a surveillance system. We found it in 6 cities, such as Taraz, Turkestan, or Kokshetau in the north. And Pelco does not merely supply the software, as we observed in Astana. Here, the American company is everywhere. Besides the Video Expert system, Pelco also supplies the monitors and control keyboards, model Endura KBD 5000. It allows operators to zoom in close on faces. The firm also supplies the cameras, as we see on an Instagram post from CCTV Commander, who installs the country's surveillance systems. This model offers clear and detailed images, enabling better recognition of people or incidences, according to Pelco. Therefore, they provide the Kazakh government with a full range of mass surveillance tools. Looking deeper, we even discover facial recognition modules integrated into the Pelco system in some parts of the country. In Taldi Korgan, on the Pelco screens, on the left we see the Video Expert interface. On the right, we see ID Guard, a facial recognition software from the Rec Faces company, based in Dubai. This brochure states that ID Guard has received international certification from Pelco as face recognition plugins. In Jibek Jolie, the video surveillance installer points out that Pelco Video Expert software is linked to the facial recognition module BriefCam. Motorola also sells a software directly integrating facial recognition into its features, Avigilon. It is located in the country's largest city, Almaty. We found it thanks to this screen. We can make out Avigilon's logo. In another video, we see the software icon. This allows individuals to be identified. We find this feature in a presentation video of the product. Avigilon Control Center version 7, which enables facial recognition. The company even boasts of being able to create watch lists.
I'm going to show how to add somebody to a face watch list through an appearance search. I have a add to watch list icon over that result. If I click on that, it's going to go ahead and take that image chip.
We wrote to Motorola Solutions, Avigilon, and Pelco's parent company to share our findings with them. We sent many reminders by email and by phone and never received a reply. In the summer of 2025, Kazakh President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev signed a new law that banned the use of covering clothing that can interfere with facial recognition. At the same time, the Home Office introduced a new tool for the police: glasses with built-in facial recognition. The authorities say the first tests have already begun.